Ancient Rome was a powerful and influential civilization that ruled over much of Europe, Africa, and Asia for centuries. It began as a small city-state on the banks of the Tiber River in Italy, and grew into a vast empire that encompassed different cultures, languages, and regions. Rome was famous for its military, political, and social institutions, as well as its achievements in law, engineering, and architecture. We want to tell a short history of ancient Rome today. Stay with us. The early republic in ancient Rome was the period of time when Rome was ruled by elected magistrates, such as consuls, praetors, and tribunes, and a senate that represented the interests of the wealthy and powerful families. The early republic lasted from 509 BC, when the Romans overthrew their last king, Tarquin the Proud, until 27 BC, when Octavian became the first emperor of Rome, ending the civil wars that had plagued the republic for decades. During the early republic, Rome expanded its territory from a small city-state to a dominant power in the Mediterranean region, conquering most of Italy, Spain, Gaul, Greece, and parts of Africa and Asia. Rome fought three major wars against its rival Carthage, known as the Punic Wars, and emerged victorious after destroying the city of Carthage in 146 BC. Rome also faced internal conflicts, such as the struggle between the patricians, the aristocratic class, and the plebeians, the common people, who demanded more rights and representation. The Republic also witnessed the rise and fall of several influential leaders, such as the Gracchi brothers, Marius, Sulla, Pompey, Caesar, and Antony, who challenged the traditional institutions and norms of the Republic and often clashed with each other. Military expansion in ancient Rome was a major factor in the growth and success of the Roman Republic and Empire. Rome used its military might to conquer and control vast territories, from Spain to Syria, and to defend its borders from external threats. Some of the main stages of Roman military expansion were the Punic Wars to 646 BC. Rome fought three wars against its rival Carthage, a powerful maritime empire based in North Africa. The First War 264 to 241 BC was mainly fought over the control of Sicily. The Second War 218 to 201 BC saw the invasion of Italy by the Carthaginian general Hannibal, and the Third War 149-146 BC ended with the destruction of Carthage and the annexation of its territories. Rome also expanded its influence in Spain, Gaul, and Greece during this period. The conquest of the Eastern Mediterranean 200 to 30 BC, Rome intervened in the affairs of the Hellenistic kingdoms that emerged after the death of Alexander the Great, such as Macedonia, Syria, Egypt, and Pergamum. Rome defeated and annexed these kingdoms, as well as other regions, such as Asia Minor, Armenia, and Judea. Rome also faced resistance from some of the local peoples, such as the Maccabees, the Parthians, and the Jews. Rome also benefited from the cultural and scientific achievements of the Greeks and the Egyptians, such as literature, art, philosophy, and astronomy. The civil wars and the transition to Empire 49 to 27 BC. Rome was plagued by internal conflicts and power struggles among its leading generals and politicians, such as Julius Caesar, Pompey, Crassus, Mark Antony, and Octavian. These civil wars weakened the republican institutions and paved the way for the rise of the first emperor, Augustus, who reformed the army, the administration, and the laws of the empire. Internal struggles in the late Republic in ancient Rome were caused by various factors, such as economic problems. The end of large-scale wars and conquests reduced the influx of booty and slaves, which affected the income and status of many aristocrats and soldiers. The growing gap between the rich and the poor, the concentration of land and wealth in the hands of a few, and the exploitation and oppression of the provinces led to social unrest and resentment. Political corruption. The republican institutions, such as the Senate, the assemblies, and the magistracies, became increasingly dysfunctional and ineffective, as bribery, violence, and factionalism undermined the rule of law and the common good. Many politicians and generals abused their power and influence for personal gain, disregarding the interests and rights of the people. Military conflicts, the expansion of the empire and the need to defend its borders required a large and professional army, which became more loyal to its commanders than to the state. Many ambitious and charismatic generals, such as Marius, Sulla, Pompey, Caesar, Antony, and Octavian, used their armies to pursue their own political agendas, often clashing with each other and the Senate. These civil wars resulted in bloodshed, chaos, and instability, and ultimately led to the end of the Republic and the rise of the empire. Julius Caesar's rise to power was a remarkable and dramatic process that involved three main stages: his role in the First Triumvirate, his conquest of Gaul, and his victories in the civil wars. The First Triumvirate 605 BC, Caesar formed a political alliance with two other powerful men, Pompey and Crassus, who helped him secure the consulship and the governorship of Gaul. The triumvirate also divided the Roman provinces among themselves, giving Caesar a vast and rich territory to exploit and expand. The conquest of Gaul 58 to 50 BC, Caesar launched a series of campaigns against the Gallic tribes, who resisted Roman domination. He defeated them with his superior military skills and tactics, and also fought against the Germanic invaders and the British Islanders. He extended Roman control over most of modern France, Belgium, and parts of Germany and Switzerland. He also gained immense popularity, wealth, and prestige, as well as a loyal and experienced army. The civil wars for 945 BC, Caesar's success and ambition threatened the Senate and his former allies, Pompey and Crassus. When the Senate ordered him to disband his army and return to Rome, he refused and crossed the Rubicon River, a symbolic act of war. He then defeated Pompey and his supporters, Italy, Spain, Greece, and Egypt, where he also met Cleopatra. He also faced and overcame other enemies, such as the sons of Pompey, the king of Numidia, and the conspirators led by Cassius and Brutus. He became the undisputed master of the Roman world and was appointed dictator for life. Julius Caesar's rise to power changed the course of Roman history and paved the way for the transition from the Republic to the Empire. He was a brilliant and charismatic leader, but also a ruthless and ambitious politician. He was assassinated by a group of senators on the Ides of March 44 BC, but his legacy and influence endured for centuries.
The transition from Caesar to Augustus was a pivotal moment in Roman history, as it marked the end of the Republic and the beginning of the Empire. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, his adopted heir Octavian, later known as Augustus, had to fight a series of civil wars against his rivals, such as Mark Antony, Lepidus, Brutus, and Cassius. Octavian emerged victorious after defeating Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, and became the sole ruler of the Roman world. He then reformed the political, military, and social structures of the state, and established a new system of government known as the Principate, in which he held supreme power under the titles of Princeps, First Citizen, and Augustus, Revered One. He also initiated a period of peace and prosperity, known as the Pax Romana or Pax Augusta, which lasted for over 2 centuries. Augustus is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential leaders in history, and his legacy shaped the destiny of Rome and the world. The age of the Roman emperors refers to the period of history when the Roman Empire was ruled by emperors, starting with Augustus in 27 BC and ending with the fall of Constantinople in 1453 AD. The Roman emperors had different titles, such as Caesar, Augustus, and Imperator, but they all derived their authority from their control of the army. The Roman emperors were not always of the same dynasty or family, and there were often civil wars and usurpers who claimed the throne. The Roman emperors also faced external threats from barbarian invasions, religious conflicts, and economic crises. The age of the Roman emperors can be divided into 2 main phases: the Principate and the Dominate. The Principate 27 BC AD to 184 was the first phase, when the emperors maintained a facade of republican rule and shared power with the Senate and other institutions. The Dominate to 84476 was the second phase, when the emperors became more autocratic and absolute, and reformed the administration, military, and religion of the empire. The Dominate also saw the division of the empire into two halves, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire. The Western Roman Empire collapsed in 476 AD, while the Eastern Roman Empire survived until 1453 AD. The age of the Roman emperors was a time of great achievements and challenges for the Roman civilization. The Roman emperors built monumental structures, such as the Colosseum, the Pantheon, and the aqueducts, and promoted art, literature, and law. The Roman emperors also expanded the empire to its greatest extent, reaching from Britain to Egypt, and from Spain to Mesopotamia. However, the Roman emperors also faced many problems, such as corruption, tyranny, persecution, and decadence. The Roman emperors also had to deal with the rise of Christianity, which eventually became the official religion of the empire.
The decline and disintegration of the Roman Empire is a complex and controversial topic that has been studied by many historians. There is no consensus on the exact causes, dates, and consequences of the fall of Rome. But some of the main factors that contributed to its collapse are military. The Roman army became weaker and less disciplined, as it faced constant threats from internal civil wars and external barbarian invasions. The empire also became too large and expensive to defend, and had to rely on foreign mercenaries and allies who were often unreliable or rebellious. Political. The Roman emperors became more autocratic and oppressive, and lost the support and loyalty of the Senate, the provinces, and the people. The empire also suffered from frequent usurpations, assassinations, and coups which destabilized the succession and the administration. The empire also split in two halves, the Western and the Eastern, which weakened its unity and coordination. Economic. The Roman economy declined due to heavy taxation, inflation, corruption, and mismanagement. The empire also faced a decline in trade, agriculture, and industry, as well as a shortage of resources, labor, and money. The empire also suffered from a series of plagues, famines, and natural disasters which reduced its population and productivity. Social. The Roman society became more divided and unequal, as the gap between the rich and the poor widened. The empire also faced a loss of civic virtue, moral values, and public order, as well as a rise of violence, crime, and corruption. The empire also experienced a cultural and religious transformation, as Christianity spread and challenged the traditional pagan beliefs and practices. The decline and disintegration of the Roman Empire had significant and lasting impacts on the history and culture of Europe and the world. The fall of Rome marked the end of classical antiquity and the beginning of the Middle Ages, a period of political fragmentation, cultural diversity, and religious conflict. The fall of Rome also influenced the development of various successor states and civilizations, such as the Byzantine Empire, the Germanic kingdoms, the Islamic caliphates, and the medieval papacy.
Well, this video was a short story about ancient Rome. I hope you like it. If you have more information, please share it in the comments. Bye for now.